Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. It's markets in the morning. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Welcome to Markets in the Morning. Today is Wednesday, June 7th, 2023. This is Markets in the Morning, where we take a look at the cryptocurrency market. We look at Bitcoin, we look at the altcoin market, take a peek over there at the stock market as the stock market gets set to open in 4 minutes from right now and see how markets are looking as we get ready to start our day. We'll take a look over there at the news of what's going on outside and the macro world, if there's any events that are of any interest to us today. I don't know, it's been a boring week so far. Otherwise, on Wednesday, we tend to have a little bit of fun on this channel. If it's your first time tuning in, get ready. We tend to take Wednesdays a little bit less serious because you know what? We're halfway through the week, baby.
It is Wednesday, my dude. It is Wednesday, dudes.
All right. Happy Wednesday, everybody. It is a Wednesday-o. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Welcome to the Blockchain Backer YouTube channel. Welcome to Markets in the Morning. Let's take a look at the crypto market. Let's see what's going on. Welcome to everybody in the chat. See you guys going, wow, with the frogs. Let's get it. All right. So Bitcoin, crazy action. Obviously, it was been a little sarcastic there to say it's been a boring week. We've had insanity this week. You had the SEC come out, file a lawsuit against Binance on Monday. And then yesterday, on Tuesday, they came out and filed a lawsuit against COINBASE. And well, today, Wednesday, are we going to get any other surprises today? We'll see. We'll find out. Seems like Coinbase is kind of like the climatic moment of the markets to do that, or for the SEC to do that. I've already recorded a video this morning just totally trash talking the SEC and financial media. Half of it's just me rambling about it. Puppet masters pulling the puppet strings, all that good stuff. I've almost completed that video. I'll finish it right when we're done with this and get that released out, hopefully within 30 to 45 minutes after the live stream is over. But obviously, the price of Bitcoin, every day when we turn on Markets in the Morning, we take a look here at this thing. This is what we've been following since April. Finally, we got down there. You had the Binance lawsuit happen, and then the SEC comes in and does the Coinbase lawsuit right here, right down at the support level. Then you get Jim Cramer telling everybody, sell, 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 get out, get out, get out. And then market just rallies right back up. You couldn't script it any better. I hope that anybody out there who has ever just like thought, hey, financial media is where I should get my information from and have them tell me what's going on. You just realized it is all a big show. It is all a big game. There's only one way to explain it, right? How do you explain that? You explain it by either saying, one, it's a simulation. Your entire reality is already pre-programmed. And that was destined to happen there because it's baked into the script of your life. Or we're getting played by the government, right? Which one is it? So absolutely crazy for that to show up when it did. Optimistic to see the price just super rally right back to it. The thing about it, I've talked about it a lot. I don't have my Taylor Swift Cruel Summer image pulled up just yet, but we talk about Cruel Summer. That's kind of the thing that I think is going on here. But, if you look at it, it doesn't really look like there's hopefully not too much time left in a cruel summer to actually end up happening in here. With all of this playing out, we've talked about this being an ABC correction in here with Bitcoin, these things. It's what we were just kind of waiting on was to get that last little flush to show up there for Bitcoin. And we actually did end up getting it. So we got our flush. It's what we were looking for. And in the flush, came all the news that we needed for the market to scream scared and run and hide and sell and be little babies. But, an automatic rally coming out of there is not unusual or unheard of either. Kind of expected to see an automatic rally shoot its way back up out of there. Now comes the part of like the cruel summer, right? So if we just kind of get stalled here, it's logical to just kind of waffle around in here for some time. and maybe, you know, a few weeks lasting in here. But it's okay for anybody who's surprised by any of this. We've been watching it for months. The vast majority of it is over. Now it's going to be kind of like financial media firestorm of trying to get you to sell, trying to get you to bail and run. As they, you know, YOLO people in at the tops, and they try to get people to be scared and fearful at the bottoms. But we finally got what we were looking for. We were talking about this last week. And I was sitting there saying, man, if we don't get this through the weekend, I'll be questioning it. But we ended up getting it right there Monday morning as markets open, and the SEC did the job for us. They did their timed event in coordination with CNBC. So fantastic to see us done. Now it just comes the part of just kind of waffling around for some time. So, you know, I got in the market. So like I've had a certain amount of money I'm willing to allocate into the market. And yesterday I would have bought, had I not been live streaming, had I not been recording videos. So it's my fault that I didn't get some. I got some the day before, right? I got some here, but I wanted to buy into that dip. But I didn't miss it because I was recording. If you caught yesterday's video, you can see there's this segment where I'm kind of like, wait a minute, now Coinbase has been sued. That happened while I was recording my video. And then we fired up because markets in the morning started. And obviously we just got carried away really too fast. So I have a certain amount of capital I was willing to allocate into the market as this dip would get progressed and we get to the bottom. Of that allocation, I've only gotten 45% in at this point now. So like I mentioned, I'd been nibbling, then I took a bite 2 days ago. I have 45% of it entered in. So I'm kind of just going to play this for the next month. If I get the opportunities to make my entries down in here, I'm going to take those to put the rest of that capital in. Of course, this doesn't change anything to my long-term bags. I'm just holding everything I've been holding for a long time. My bias is that this market will shift up higher, and I'm holding under that anticipation. This is fresh capital I'm bringing into the market. So if I get the chance to put in that extra 55%, I will take it. If I don't, oh, well, poor me. My years of bags will go up. Too bad. I think I'll survive. So that's just kind of what we're waiting on for the rest of the summer. I'm excited because that's just a signature of a capitulation. A strong price action to a support level that you're looking for, mixed with a really strong narrative that gets everybody talking. The narrative gets on the national television, on the financial media, and you have your typical culprits that are retail lures in the wrong direction, like Jim Cramer, trying to get you to sell. So, man, dude, you can't script that any better. You can't look for anything better than that, in my personal opinion. So, all right, Bitcoin looking good. We talk all about this in the video, and I harp on and ramble and rant about Jim Cramer and the SEC for like 20 minutes. So, as for XRP, quick rally back up as well. As we could see, still lower high happening in here, coming off of a lower low. So, as you know, we're back at these retracement levels. You can see now we've set a lower low. You can look at the relative strength index in here. You definitely see weakness that has emerged here on the relative strength index on the 4-hour time frame. So definitely we're just drifting down in here now, setting lower lows. So we need a miracle to get through these retracement levels in here for this to not have to go back and zigzag and reaccumulate. And I think that's just what we're all waiting on at this point. Can there be a catalyst? Can there be an event? Can there be something that can get us through those retracement levels? Because otherwise, this is really our ultimate danger level sitting here for XRP. The $1 million question, can we get out of here right now? The indicators have flipped bearish, right? So indicators have flipped bearish on the 4-hour time frame, and they have flipped bearish on the 8-hour time frame, about the 12-hour time frame, every single time frame. So 4, 8, 12, 1 day, they're flipping bearish in here. So we'll see if we can get our way to get a surprise catalyst. As you guys know, there's a lot going on next week. You got the House Financial Services Committee meeting on digital asset framework on June 13th, along with we have the Hinman emails that are supposed to be coming out on June 13th. We'll see about that. You know, I'm skeptical on if we'll get those or not. Also on June 13th, we have the CPI data release. So we have the Consumer Price Inflation Index. So we don't really have anything going on this week in regards to the economic calendar, but it is next Tuesday, the 13th, where we will get CPI. So our CPI has been 4.9% year over year. Month over month is last month was 0.4%. So if we get a good reading in here, we could see this drop pretty low, because if we look at the monthly CPI back in our reading that was reported in June for our May data, we had a 1.0, right? We've been talking about this for a while and why we wouldn't see a big drop happen here. For the CPI for year over year would not drop much between April and May, because of the data point that we were going to be replacing. We were only going to be replacing this 0.3% from back in 2022. Now in this next reading that we'll get next Tuesday, also on the 13th, with the Hinman emails, with the House Financial Services Committee, we're going to be replacing a 1.0%. So the probability of a bigger drop happening here in the year-over-year CPI seems pretty likely. So going from 4.9%, well, we're typically averaging these zeros to 0.5%. So if we stay somewhere in that range, one would expect to see that the CPI year over year will fall to somewhere between 3.9% and 4.4% for the year over year. Then we'll move on to the next month, and then the next month's where we replace the big mama jamma. A 1.3 is going to fall off of there, and that's where we're likely going to see that CPI, that year over year CPI, settle down in the threes. And that's probably where we're going to stay. As you know, the Fed has been talking about wanting 2% inflation. It doesn't mathematically seem logical that we're actually going to get there, but that we can settle somewhere in the threes. So right now, while it says 4.9, if you actually took the average of the last 10 months, and if these two massive data points from almost a year ago weren't included, we'd be pretty close to about 3%, 3.5%. And so that's what we'll probably have registering when we get the CPI data come out on also the 13th. So we have House Financial Services Committee, we have the Hinman emails, and we have CPI all on the 13th. Then go to the 14th. The next day, we have the FOMC meeting, and whether or not the Fed is going to be hiking or if they're going to be pausing. And the market's currently pricing in the pause finally, 77%. Thing is, we know that this can flip-flop around, and the Fed has consistently done whatever the market has priced in. So we probably will see there, as we get that CPI the day before on the 13th, is where this number is going to settle. This number is going to settle after that data point, because that's the last one we probably need. And then this will give us our true number, and that'll probably tell us which way we're going to be going when the Fed does their next one. So we're talking about XRP showing bearish divergences on the 4-hour, 8-hour, 12-hour, 1 day, as we're back at retracement levels. We need some type of something to show up. Do we have any catalysts that can maybe help get it that crack through those retracement levels? That's kind of the point of why we're talking about all the things that are coming next week. Digital asset framework, the Hinman emails, CPI, and FOMC. You do have catalysts coming up next week. So we'll see if those can override anything going on here. If those end up being positive. Otherwise, just, we're back at the retracement levels. This is always a struggle. This is always a problem. Do we zigzag from here? This is the big moment where a clean break needs to come to get like a little bit of assurance that this is not just a retracement happening in here. As for the U.S. stock market opens up today. So we can see Dow Jones still fighting up here against the 702 retracement. Take a peek right there. There's your Dow. Ever since getting back there back in November, a big, huge rally back off the lows starting October to November. We've watched this every day, 6 months of sitting here watching us fight against the retracement levels, unsuccessfully able to get through for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Of course, now the big question is, look who else is getting really close to it. You got the NASDAQ approaching the 702 Fibonacci retracement level as well. Of course, it's not just 702, it's all these retracement levels in general that are the kind of concerning areas. As for the SPX, the S&P 500, we'll throw the fibs on there. We're not even close yet on the S&P. Well, yes, we're getting kind of close. Here you go. There's your 618 retracement, almost there for the S&P. As gold still has pulled back from the high, attempting to get through the all-time high, a failure once again. Now pulling back to that breakout level that had occurred from back in January and then getting out in March. So gold, the big battle, who's going to be the winner, gold or the stock market? As for yields, short-term duration yields, I think the auction for these is today or tomorrow, finally. So for a lot of 1, 2, 3s, 4s, 6s, the Treasury is now issuing debt. So there's more demand, less worry of parking money at the Treasury because of the debt ceiling being lifted. And so with that, more demand for short duration treasuries. So we're seeing the yields start to fall over here. As for the US dollar currency index is having a down morning, so it's down 0.28%. We could see that it has been rallying here really for the entire month of May. Then it has been paused out so far here in June. We could see some divergence starting to emerge in here. You can see that we're about to have the MACD cross over here on the daily time frame. So when that occurred back in here, you could see that did start the trend down once again. So we could see that real trend has really kind of broke. We've really kind of stalled out in here. And then we see the indicators at least are starting to roll over. The strength has rolled over and the MACD is about to get across. So looking okay there for the dollar. That's usually optimistic for markets. But the big one, my thoughts are we're probably stalled out here. I think we saw our capitulation yesterday. I think we had our narrative to go with it. I think we had the financial media doing their absolute best to scare us again. And just so you know, I don't think they're done. I think they're going to keep going. I think they're going to keep trying. So we're going to give them the big fat middle finger. But XRP, you need something, guys. You need something to get out of there. This is sketchy back at the retracement levels. But should we get through, that whole sketchiness changes quite quickly. And it then starts becoming very, very exciting time. So stock market, we could see it. We're up this morning. Everything's up. Dow Jones about 0.25%, S&P about 0.25%, and then the NASDAQ up about 0.25%. The big loser yesterday, I didn't see what it closed at, was Coinbase, but it looks like it's done a little bit of a recovery here. Coinbase is in the green. The biggest winner today so far is Netflix and Tesla. Losers today, Roblox in the red, but really it looks like to be like the only one in the red in here. Otherwise, metals, nothing too exciting over there. And metals, 0.5% to flat. And yep, that's what's going on out there. Otherwise, as for news, man, it's like, if we even go look at any financial news, is it going to even come close to the things that were going on yesterday? Unlikely. Right? Yesterday was awesome, right? I think it was like awesome. And the reason I think it's awesome is just because I almost feel like I sound crazy when I say magical unicorn fairy dust, puppet masters pulling the puppet string, God in a simulation. And I think I proved it yesterday. I think it got proven because we spent 2 months watching this. And once we finally got to the level, we watched the coordination of the U.S. government and financial media together. And then we watched prices rally when they were screaming for Doomtown. And I thought that was just one of the most amazing things to see in crypto, and that we got to do it all together. It was pretty cool. So I mean, we gotta look at the news, but it's like, who cares, man? We got our own stuff going on in here. Used cars prices are falling. Cool. I mean, high interest rates, PGA Tour merger with Saudi, CNN CEO out after Trump town hall fallout. Give you a little refreshy. Okay, yeah, PGA Golf, Wall Street wants hot trades, Kathy Wood. Look, we don't even have Coinbase on the front of either of these anymore. Yesterday, they were trying to scare us to death, and now we're just a thing of the past. Don't even talk about us anymore, right? All right. Who wants to bet? They start talking about us again right here. Scare, fear, 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 fear. But right here, yeah, nah, we don't want to talk about this. All right, crypto, SEC lawsuit against unify the crypto industry. We've kind of already covered all these things. All right, I think we all know it, right? Market bounced back. We knew that. We got exactly what we were looking for in here. Perfect structure to come in here. We got what appears to be the capitulative little flush that happened in here, and market rallied right off of it as the U.S. government and CNBC attempted to scare us out of the market. Now, after an automatic rally, a lot of times what we do see is just kind of waffling around in here. This actually is a form of Wyckoff accumulation. So this is an automatic rally followed by a secondary test in phase B, and then spring. Even though it looks a little wonky, it's kind of what it is. And so this does have the markings of an automatic rally coming off of the floor. but that we would need to accumulate here for some time. And that just really kind of matches along with the thoughts of just kind of what occurs in these time periods. So, it looks like June may just be kind of a sideways month. I'm going to treat it as an accumulation month for myself personally. But it looks like we have a good shot for things to start turning their way back up in July. So I will take it all day, every day. I'm not having to be this guy anymore. I think we're going through here. I think it's the cruel summer time period, but it's better than fighting against the world on Twitter for this. So we've finally gotten there, and let's rock on, man. Let's do it. I think the big nail biter is this guy here for XRP, and that's when I'm just indifferent on as we're back at the retracement levels to see what can actually happen here. So we need some kind of catalyst or something to show up. We know we've got 4 of them next week: House Financial Services Committee, Hinman emails, CPI, and then will the Fed pause the hiking cycle, all on the 13th and then on the 14th. So, whew. Cole says, hey, I'm going to jump into the chat, guys. So that's pretty much the coverage for today. Stock market is up this morning. Metals kind of lackluster. Crypto, huge rally after the chaos yesterday. Kind of took it all back. And then now today kind of settling, probably going into some longer form of a June consolidation happening in here based on what we've been looking for. So at least those are my thoughts. If we rally higher, we'll cover that. But this is definitely, this is my current thesis right now for June. Bunch of sideways stuff. Sideways slop. I'm personally going to be treating this as accumulation time period. So that's just kind of where we're at. And I think this was just absolutely beautiful. Wonderful to see this happen with the narratives that came in and the financial media coordination to attempt to get people to sell. Man, so good to expose those jerks, man. Okay. All right, hopping in the chat. Cole, much love, BCB. Thank you very much. Can you please talk about the possible scenario of XRP going to $5 and then sideways for a year and then going up to $25? Thank you. I'll cover that another time. When I mentioned that, I said I could see that happening. As you guys know, I'm sticking with my original stuff. It's always going to be that way. 4.236 extension scenario is not changing. Any type of hopium people want to hear for higher, they want it. In a 30-second period in a live stream, somebody asked me something, and I somehow said I could see this thing. And now let's elaborate on it, right? I'm not ready to elaborate on that, but I have a justification for it based on an Elliott wave count. So I'll talk about that another day, but just not today. I don't want to start that whole thing. Not today. We got to get through where we're at right now. I'm not trying to spill hopium on people right here while we're here. I'm concerned here. I'm not in the game of creating insane price target videos and clickbait stuff right now when we're here. And this is just how I am. When I'm here, I'm worried. I'm concerned. We need to get through these things. You start saying stuff like, hey, we're going to $30 or something like that. People say, whatever, I'll buy at 52. It doesn't matter because we're going to 30, and then price turns over and it drops down to here. And it goes down 40%, and people lose their S like crazy. So we just got it. Let's get through this moment first. So we can start talking about those alternative things. The reality is 4.236 extension is still primary. There's no 65. I make 65% exit there no matter what. Doesn't matter. If I think XRP is going to $1 bajillion, it doesn't matter. $10, 65% of it's gone. Nothing changes. All your little basement dwelling, mom, teat, sucking trolls who are going to scream about it. You're going to make people lose money and sell too early. I'm selling at $10. I'm selling 65%. You know what? Live with it. And I'm not talking to you, Cole. You're very kind. You said much love. That's just me being real talk because I deal with that stuff all the time. So I'll present that at some point. But not today. Not today. Let's get through the real major issue we're at right now. That's trying to get through a retracement level and actually trend. Because right now we don't have upward trend. Bread Garlic House. Dang, BCB coming out strong today. Man, I'm in a great mood, man. Feeling good. And I've eaten breakfast today, so we're cool. All right, thanks, Cole. Maybe another time I will. Dylan Kerr, if XRP takes off first, would you consider rolling profits into other assets that haven't taken off yet? Thank you for everything. I've debated it. Not a ton. Not a ton, no. No. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm not saying you should. The market tends to go together. It's very unlikely, right? If you go through the history of the cryptocurrency market, it is very unlikely that something is going to happen where like XRP goes to $10 and all these assets stay the same. That doesn't happen. They all move together. Maybe one of them gets like just a little bit of a head start, like a bigger jump than the rest of them. The only times that I've seen where there's like this big divergence of like most of the market going and something like really being delayed, XRP was on the other side of that, right? XRP was like the last one to go. It was not a situation where it was first. It was a situation where it's last. And so I wouldn't hang, like the thing that's hard for a lot of people is hanging their hat on the hope and optimism that they'll be the first one to go with XRP, but haven't lived through the moment of what it's like to be the last one to go. And that is very hard. And imagine the meme coin mania we just went through. You got everybody on Twitter screaming, hey, it's not too late to jump into doggy poop. It's not too late to chase, praying Mary coin. And they're all screaming and hooting and hollering about making thousands of percents. And you're sitting there crying, right? Why am I in this stupid coin? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go yell at blockchain backer. Blockchain backer, I should have been in Mary Jesus coin. And you're over here telling me XRP is going to the moon. That's the hard part when things are last. And XRP has done that. So I wouldn't hang my hat on being like, I'm going to be the first out the gates. It's unlikely. XRP tends to move with the rest of the market. I understand we have catalysts coming down the pike. But people have been yelling at me for 2.5 years since this lawsuit started that, once the lawsuit ends, everything's going to fly. Nothing's changed. It's like XRP has just like, it's almost like the lawsuit. Like you watch how the SEC times stuff. I'm like tinfoil hat and hard, man, that this lawsuit is wrapping up timing and the timing of it ending is going to be perfect. Jonas Fugalis, what coins are you buying, BCB? I'm not going to reveal all the coins that I'm getting. I appreciate the support. I mentioned a couple of them that I nibble in, but what I'm going hard in, I'm not ready to reveal that yet. I found that's a losing strategy for me. It doesn't matter which ones I have. The ones that don't take off are the ones that I'm always going to catch flack for forever. So it doesn't matter. If I name 6 of them and 4 of them just absolutely go up 10,000%, the other 2 are the ones that people are going to bitch and moan about for all year. So we'll see. I need to figure out how I want to reveal that. Where am I going with? Yeah. So just, kind of have the idea that, highly unlikely XRP will take off without everything. It could, but just don't have that. I know, PTW, that happened, didn't it? It did. I dropped a word. All right, I'm moving on. All right, Dylan, probably, maybe so, probably a little bit, but not a ton, man. At least the way I'm feeling today, that's how I'm feeling. If the charts are screaming something totally different at the time, maybe they'll feel different at that time. As of right now, it's more of like, hey, BCB, it's time to get paid for 5 years of this. That's my thoughts. Dil Kansky, my dude, right? You're the airplane guy, right? Good morning, dude. Any thoughts on why XRP was not listed as a security on the Coinbase lawsuit? I don't have any thoughts on it. But there's several opinions out there from people smarter than me, especially people who are are lawyers or study the security stuff, that it actually could have maybe caused them more complications in their current lawsuit with Ripple if they did that. And it's not in any way, the way I'm interpreting it from these lawyers is not to be interpreted in any way that XRP is not a security because it wasn't listed, but more that it could cause them additional problems in the current case that they're in right now. So that's, for me to have any personal opinion, I have none because I don't understand any of that stuff, but that's what I'm reading. Hugh D, but thank you. Hugh D says, if the SEC is corrupt and all the lawsuits are corrupt and everything is corrupt, then why can't the judgments be corrupt too? Yeah, you have to hope. Well, so that's where you look at rulings, historical rulings, right? We go back through history and see how often are the rulings wrong. And that's where, you get people like Jeremy Hogan who says, historically the courts get it right. So could they? Yeah. I mean, people are flawed, right? People are flawed. There are bad people, probably bad judges. Does that mean that the ones that we have are that? Are most judges bad? No. And based on what Jeremy Hogan says the courts typically in the end get it right. So we'll find out. But thank you, Hugh D. And thank you, Dokansky. Whiskey too, my dude. Like the video. It's Frog Day. Missed you guys. My schedule is crazy right now, but not as crazy as the SEC. But what is as crazy as the SEC? That's right. And you know what? We haven't done it since the opening. Let's go.
It is Wednesday, my dude. It is Wednesday, my dudes.
Let's go. 1862. Let's see what we dropped to. 1872. Okay, we're going to see if it drops. Happy Frog Day, everybody. Whiskey too. Thank you so much. And then Whiskey donates 5 blockchain backer memberships. What's up? Thank you, Whiskey. Then followed up with our boy Oscar Hernandez, the 2 supporters who are here like every day. Whiskey's been busy lately, but you know what? We still love you, dude. You still show up all the time, man. Appreciate it. And then Pat, right out the gates too, as well, man. Thank you, Pat. 5 gifts of membership. So if you suddenly have your name is green, you now have access to some emojis and some fun, and we just kind of goof off here. You're part of the community now, which everybody's part of the community. You have emojis. Thank you, Pat. Hot Tub Brian. There has to be a buyer when I go sell my XRP. Can I create a 5,000 XRP sell order for $10 when it gets close, and that the order will fill, or do I need to create smaller orders? Well, it depends. Well, first of all, the price has to get to $10, right? And the price has to technically probably exceed $10. If the price goes to $10.01, well, then technically that means your entire order got filled because the price exceeded the $10. If 5,000 times $10 would be, $50,000 at the time. That's like selling, Bitcoin being way up and selling 1 Bitcoin at that time. Could it do it? Yeah. So my thought process would be, if we get way up there, that liquidity will crunch through it really fast. And the way I've seen that is things like when Ethereum Classic was going up there and flying up there to those prices, 175 and stuff. It was a lot of money eaten through those prices, watching how fast it would go. I mean, you could set a $75,000 buy wall and it get eaten in a second. It was pretty amazing to see that. And my thoughts are with XRP, how big it's going to be. The amount of liquidity up there would just be nuts. So, but anybody who does an all or nothing strategy, it's pretty sketchy, right? What are you going to do if it gets to $9.87 and then crashes back to $2? Man, it's hard, right? So it's trying to figure out, do you have a laddering strategy, or how you want to do it, right? Things to think about. Over the years, I've learned. So the struggle with the 2 of them is that I've definitely have had it where I had one particular target, one particular number where I was going to let go of all of it. I've had that happen, and it barely misses it. Comes up just slightly short and not doing it. Here's an example too, right? What if this is the bottom, right? If you had all or nothing, $50 lower, right? $50 lower, all or nothing. Boom, it got away and it's gone forever, right? So what have I done? I've gotten 45% in, right? I haven't gotten filled fully yet, but I've got some in, right? I've definitely had situations where we've gone up thousands of percents had an all or nothing strategy, and I got missed by 2.5%. The price came up short 2.5% after rose 2,000%, came up 2.5% short and crashed all the way back down. And that was about 6 figures. And that doesn't feel good. That hurts. So laddering, and so the problem with the laddering is that, you know, you're getting out a little bit, but you're watching price get up higher. So you psychologically are in your own mind saying, I shouldn't have let go of some of it. Look, it's going higher. I shouldn't have let go of some of it. It's going up higher. Look at this. I've already sold this much and it's still going up higher. But it's finding that emotional control within yourself. And that's all emotions, all of that, right? Logic tells you that's the right play to do. It's very risky to have one place and you're just going to let go of all of it there. But to kind of ladder out in a zone is the logical, responsible thing to do, it seems, right? Whether it's responsible or not, I don't know. But you don't want to be that. You don't want to be like me that one time. Thousands of percent, 2.5% short, down. That hurt. So, you know, it's up for everybody to decide. I'm not going to say that's responsible or irresponsible. It's just, it's hard. It's an emotional management system that happens there on what to do. And it's really hard because you sit there waiting. Is it going to hit your number? Is it going to hit your number? But then the alternative is if you're laddering out, you're watching it go higher and higher, and you've already sold portions of it, and you're fighting yourself at the same time. So it's really, this game requires so much emotional management. And if you don't have that, if you're the type of person who runs around on Twitter and screams at people, you're just a child, man. You're going to get wrecked in this thing, dude. If you're screaming at people on the internets, if you're not opening up charts, if you're trying to find your calls, your trade calls by watching YouTube videos, you're going to get wrecked, man. You got to put in the work, and then you've got to like emotionally prepare yourself. Like, what were you like emotionally down here? What were you like emotionally down here? What were you like emotionally up here? And what were you like emotionally yesterday, right? Were you terrified yesterday? What were you here? And it's just like when you document all these things and you track them and you start realizing it's not the charts that are the problem. It's not the price action the problem. It's you. And I'm not talking about you in particular. It's me. It's all of us. It's in our own head. It's finding it and just keeping it cool, man. And you know what? If you sell something too early, oh, boo-hoo. You only made 1,500% when you could have made 2,000%. You're such a loser. Oh my gosh, that's embarrassing. You know, and don't listen to other people on Twitter. You know, just don't listen to anybody to tell you you're doing anything wrong. If you make a victory, own it. You got it. Don't beat yourself up and say you could have done better. You did your best and you won. All right, moving on. Sebastian. How you doing, big man? Hope y'all have a nice day. From Sebastian Barros. Thank you so much. Then Gator, man. Oh, my gosh. Gives 5 blockchain backer memberships. And then Jonas, yeah, I'd already got you, man. Thank you so much. Bob Zay, thank you. No message, but thank you. I appreciate it. GSML says, I've always kind of thought there's actually nothing bad for the SEC in the Hinman emails. Once the emails come out, capitulation. My own tinfoil hat thought. Thanks for everything, BCB. Yeah, so, I mean, we could talk about that. And I've talked about it before, that there's no, like, it's not going to change our outcome. Just because these emails come out, it's not going to change the, like, outcome of anything, right? I mean, the judge has already seen them. This is all just for us, right? When we see those emails, they're nothing more than for us to whine and complain and point fingers at them on Twitter and in YouTube videos, right? You know, hopefully, you know, Congress gets an opportunity to look at it. But you know what? Congress a couple of months ago was a horse and pony. But that's the term wrong, right? I call it a horse and pony show. Is it called a dog and pony show or something? I don't know. Eric was trying to correct me. That, you know, they do the whole dance with Gary Gensler and Congress, and then they make this big show that they're going to do something, and then nothing ends up happening, right? Here he is on his rampaging event, right? Remember he had the meeting just a couple of months ago, and it was like, oh, wow, Warren Davidson, that was so impressive. You are definitely going to get Gary. Look at this rampage Gary is on. Nothing happened. Gary's on a rampage. Is anything gonna like change because we see the emails? Likely not. It's just for us to like, like confirm the things we've all said, right? They're bad. Like these are bad people, and like it's wrong. So I'm not so sure that there will be anything that changes anything by seeing the emails, no matter how bad they are, right? I mean, like, can anybody come up with a reason on why anything would change just because if Bill Hinman emailed, Jay Clayton and says, hey, we should definitely do everything humanly possible to squash XRP and make Ethereum the #1 king. Like, if that's written in an email, and then if he also said, P.S., let's commit a bunch of corruption to do it too. Like, if that was in the email, is that going to change anything? No, not really. Not at this point. We're already at summary judgment. We still have to wait for the court to decide. So I think it's more of just for us. I don't know if the emails are really going to do anything at all. But, the person to ask on that topic would be John Deaton, would be Jeremy Hogan. But that's just kind of my thoughts. Jerome VDV says, hey, BCB, new course coming soon. Yeah, I've been working on it for months at this point. I work on it every day. So I make a video in the morning. I do markets in the morning. Then I go to working on that all day. Currently, right now, it's 26 videos long. It's 6.85 hours long. And there's probably about another, 5 to 15 videos to be recorded to go with it. Still working through it. And I'm trying to set a deadline for myself within 2 weeks. So, grinding, baby. All right. Thank you, GSML. Pablo Yescobar says, do you think all the scared retail investors have been shaken out of the market given all the negative contagion and the quick bounce back in price? No. I think this would do it. Just kind of like a month of beating people down. Lower prices and beating people down emotionally with bad negative news and bad media coverage and low prices, and sitting here for a long time will beat them down. And I'm also a little emotionally disconnected from what the market is feeling right now because I've been expecting this. This has been what we've been expecting. The market, when this was all originally posted, if you go through the Twitter thread, it's just nothing but trolls in there, right? And mouth breathing basement dwellings at mom's house. And they're all just saying, no, it can never happen. You don't know anything, backer. So I don't know how wrong-footed people are emotionally. I'm not wrong-footed. This was the expectation. So now I'm excited that this happened, and then we got a narrative to go with it, and the financial media trying to shake people out at the same time as we finally got there. So that's exciting to me. So I'm a little disconnected from what is the actual emotional state of the market right now. Are people scared? Are they actually scared? Or do they read through this? Because I see through it a mile away. Does the general market see through it? I don't know. So have they capitulated? I don't know. Do we keep getting really bad news for a month and the media just keeps pushing us down emotionally, scaring us, creating all these negative narratives, and the picture gets painted really poorly for a whole month. So there's like different types of capitulation, right? There's price-based capitulation, there's time-based capitulation, and I like to call it the jealousy capitulation, like your meme coin stuff, right? You see doggy poo-poo coin going flying to the moon, and you say, why am I stuck in XRP, BCB? You told me XRP was going to be the best thing ever, but poopy coin is amazing now. And then they jealously will leave something and go chase it. Will that be the case with Bitcoin? I don't know. My thoughts are we have about a month of sideways action in here, and there's probably some more negative news to go with it. And that will be kind of our capitulative stuff, is that we're just kind of grinding. It's a cruel summer, and everybody's miserable. But for me personally, I'm just excited. We got everything I was looking for, and we got the narrative to go with it. So I'll take it all day. Question is on this guy. Oh, this guy. Back at that retracement. But thank you, Pablo. As a here says, at what price would you consider buying Matic? I don't know if I'm buying Matic. Matic was named in both those lawsuits, but it's hard to trust anything on what's happening with them with the SEC, right? So it looks like Wyckoff accumulation, and it looks like it's going into spring, right? There we go. It's probably the area to watch down there in the 50s. But personally, it's not something I'm chasing or considering right now. For me to even consider Matic, it'd probably have to be a fall, and then I need to see base building. I'm not really interested in trying to catch the knife to catch a V bottom. I would consider it on base building first, because that's typically what does happen in Wyckoff Springs. If that's what's going on here, like just a giant spring, is that you'll base build for a minute and then go. So we'll just kind of waiting on it. 50 cents. We'll see if that in the 50s. We'll see if that ends up being support for it. And technically, it hasn't taken out a new low, right? So it's technically still higher highs and higher lows here on bigger time frames. So it hasn't even broken here. Get the break from there. You could start considering it. For trend liners, right? You have a little bit of a break happening in there. But a lot of times when you're just doing trend lines, like you say to yourself, why does that matter? Well, because it's a trend line. I drew a line and it broke. That must mean it's doomed. But it's like it hasn't set a new low. Like the trend hasn't actually changed. It's still technically higher highs and higher lows. It's just this magic line you drew on the chart. It broke. Does it mean anything? Has the whole world's financial system died because of your line? Don't know. So, to start really thinking, oh man, this thing's breaking, probably looking to at least get a lower low first. And then at that point, looking at those 50s. But this is something I don't own. It's not something that's on my radar to be buying right now for me personally. I will say Matic was impressive because it was one of the most strongest rallies to come off the low. It was one of the first ones. This is June, right? So this thing just held so impressive. It's been so strong. The only reason I haven't even considered it or paid attention to it was it just got carried too far away from me. And so I just didn't even look at it. But Matic, of course, that's a second layer for Ethereum. Lots of second layer competition out there now. Optimism, Arbitrum. And we'll see. We'll see. There we go. Ooh. Nice question, Daniel Delgado. Morning, BCB. Have a great day. Thanks for all your hard work. What's your favorite Taylor Swift song? Back in the country music era, I used to love Enchanted. I've got a lot, man. I got a lot of jams. Right now, I'm jamming Cruel Summer. I jammed it like 3 times before I went live. You think I'm joking? I'm not joking. You look so gritty like a devil, it's you. That's kind of my jam because we're heading into Cruel Summer. Other jams, Midnight Rain's a pretty good one. I've got a laundry list of them. It's just how badly do I want to embarrass myself today? I don't think those two embarrass me too terribly yet. Are you ready for it? That's a good one. Bam, bam, bam. That's the one that's posted over there on my Twitter. That one's a pretty good one. I've enough to embarrass myself, and I know the names of enough songs to embarrass myself. But I think I named 3, and those will do. Timothy Boone. I lose respect for BCB when he talks about music. Oh, that's not true, man. It's all fun and games with Tay Tay. I do like Tay Tay. But, I got my jams too. I grew up on Limp Bizkit and Linkin Park. That's kind of from my teenage era. And then, Papa Roach. Papa Roach, one of the most underrated bands. I think they're a top 5 of all time. I think they're totally underrated, and anybody who has seen them live probably knows that. And like Dom just said, Linkin Park, the GOAT. Yep, I've seen Linkin Park live maybe 10 times. Yeah, Chris is a Korn kid, right? So if you're around Korn, that means you're around with Marilyn Manson at that time. What else was going on with Korn at that time? You had the Korn, Marilyn Manson, you had Eminem, all kind of popular at that same time, right? Denver Vandal, Papa Roach, top 5 all time. Yeah, if you haven't seen their show, if you've only heard them on the radio, if you've only heard like, they're whatever it is, the one where they're in like the boxing ring thing, their old last resort, right? If that's all you got, then yeah, you're gonna be like, no. But if you saw them live and you heard them, you'd be like, wow, this is crazy. They always bring it every time. And I've seen them enough times to know it, to where I was never really that big on Papa Roach until I saw him live and said, holy cow. The Jacoby, the lead singer Jacoby, super high energy, totally into it. Just when you see somebody passionate about what they're doing and like they're living their best life, it's intoxicating. You know what I mean? Your mom says Backstreet Boys, along with Cash Me Outside. I guess that's that same era, right? Zach Hessler is late on Frog Day. Tool was just a little bit before that, right? So Tool was a little bit before that. At least Tools were popular kind of like in 94, right? 94 to 98, maybe. Kind of a popular time for Tool, at least from my memory. Disturbed was popular at that same time too, in that area, 1998, 2002. Blink 182, yeah, they were popular. See, man, I mean, I got it. I know we make fun with the Tay-Tay stuff, but I know my music, man. Especially that era, that 1995, 2010. That's really kind of like my jam era, and I think that's kind of for anybody in their like teenage and early 20s years. Those are going to be your music you kind of always fall back on. I always give my brother-in-law a really hard time because we get into his car and he still listens to the 80s. And I'm like, man, you're like 45. I get in here, we listen to Madonna every time I get in here. When are we moving on from this? And it's what he was doing in his teenager years or whatever, when he was a kid. All right, we're talking about music. We're supposed to be talking about charts, but we still have 1,800 people in here who are enjoying the talk of music. How about that? So right now the jams would be, if you're not jamming Cruel Summer, go jam Cruel Summer. It'll get you through the Cruel Summer. And for Tay-Tay, and then Midnight Rain is good. And then what's one more I can give you? That won't embarrass me too terribly. Are you ready for it? There you go. The Cruel Summer gets you through the summer. Are you ready for it? What's coming next? Midnight Rain, just kind of a cool newer jam she's got. All right. Frank LeCourcy. Hey, BCB, it's good news H-bar wasn't on that list. Could you see it going to $1? $1. So what, 20x? Let's do this. We're just going to measure a 4.236 extension on the market cap, and we'll see where that gets us. All right. All right, so we have to ignore that height that was, no. We have to ignore this. This was an API issue with CoinTrader Pro pulling data from CoinMarketCap. Right, so there's been a lot of inflation with Hedera or HBAR over the course of the last, and guys, don't donate for altcoins. Just a reminder, I'm not going to go through everybody's altcoins. It's kind of not, I try to kind of avoid that in these live streams to go over that, but HBAR, it's actually one of the ones I've been taking shots at over here, adding to long-term bags. I would, you know, if you 4.236 extension the market cap of Hedera or H bar, it would get you up 1,600%. So what does that mean on the price chart? Looks like we tried to do this kind of measuring before. 1,600% on Hedera from current location is closer to the 80s. And that's at current times, right? So you have to be careful depending on how long it takes, because I believe H bar is about a 40% inflation rate. It's pretty high. All right, so we'll do this. Let's kind of guesstimate here. We don't have a whole lot of data, and so we're going to kind of draw a line like this. We're going to say that's kind of the trend at which it's going. It's moving somewhat like that. All right, we have to ignore this. Again, that's an API issue here, but that's kind of our trend. And if you continued at this type of a trend, December of 2022, December of 2023, that's 83% inflation. That doesn't sound right, though. That's not what we measured before. We'll do it like this. Here's 2022. And we won't guesstimate. We'll use real numbers. There we go. We went like that. That's what our trend was for 2022. Let's see what we were in 2022. We were 38%, 39% for the entire year of 2022. So if it takes a long time for H bar to start working its way back up, this will gradually continue to decrease. The longer this takes, the more this keeps drifting down because of a 40% inflation rate for Hedera. So the sooner the better. If it happened today, if the market cap of Hedera or H bar went to a 4.236 extension, that gets you approximately into the 80s, about 80 cents. But if it takes a lot longer, and of course, if it doesn't get to the 4.236 extension, it's a totally different story. But hypothetically, if you went to 4.236 with the market cap, that gets you to 85 cents today. If it took 6 months from right now, probably shift that down quite a bit in the 60s. So that's the problem with H bar is it is one of those ones with a higher inflation, just like Casper is or was, and like Algorand and like Filecoin. They've all had these inflationary issues throughout the past. Kind of a repetitive theme in some of these coins that are real popular in the XRP community have been these inflation problems. So, yep. All right. Thank you, Frank. Adrian, no more altcoins. Please don't donate for altcoins, though. I only talked about that one because I'm actually buying some of that. But not a tremendous amount, but I am buying some. Adrian, I'm not going to slaughter your last name, sir. Thank you. And I like your picture. Looks like you have your baby with you. That's cool. Hey, BCB, happy Frog Day. When you purchase your crypto, do you transfer it to cold storage right away? Thank you, sir. The best, let me just say this. The best practice is to do that. That's the answer. The answer is that is the best practice. And that's your first time, Adrian. Thank you very much. Grumpy Old Man, supporter all the time, says, hey, BCB, did Jim Cramer green light ADA? Yeah, if you guys didn't miss it. Jim Cramer is, of course, repeating what he is told to say. And he's just the script reader and does a phenomenal job getting retail to buy tops and sell bottoms. The inverse Kramer stuff, people genuinely think he's like the worst at his job and don't like actually use their logical brain to recognize he's the best at his job. If you don't think of his job as being here to help retail, but here to help the elites use retail as liquidity on the wrong side of the trade to get them to buy the tops and to sell the bottoms and be the liquidity on the opposite side of the trade, he's the best. So when Jim Cramer yesterday said, yeah, I totally believe you need to sell your Solanos and your Cardanzos, he's just reading the script, guys. If it isn't that obvious, you know what I mean? When you're calling it Solanos and Cardanzos and that you passionately feel everybody should sell it, you're reading the script, bro. So, I don't know. Thank you, Grumpy Old Man. Dr. Ty, member, 3 months down, many, many months to go. When frog merch? Yeah, the course has got to get out first. Frog merch. That merch is getting made. Like it's like you guys always ask when merch. It's super in design mode right now. Super. You guys have said it enough. The project has begun. Thank you, Dr. Ty. Andrew Baxter Smith, member, new. Thank you. Welcome. Jason Laguerre, first time super chatter. No message. Probably figure it out here in a second. Thank you very much, Jason. Rye Guy says, morning, dudes. Happy hump day. We are so close. Thanks, BCB. It is hump day. We're halfway through the day. Halfway through the week. Not the day. It's still early in the morning. We could still get another SEC lawsuit. It's so early in the morning. Thank you very much, Rye Guy. 720 likes. Let's go. If you number one way to support channel, guys, if you could hit that like button. Travis S. Super chat, but no message. First timer. Appreciate it, Travis. Maybe you'll figure it out here in a second if there was something you wanted to say. OG Mac, thank you so much. The way the charts tell the story shows clear manipulation, but what or who is pulling the strings? By the way, studying coding for school while listening. Thank you, BCB. That's awesome, man. Thank you, OG. Cool, man. Smart dude. I wish I knew Mo coding. I actually went to school for, funny story. I went to college when I was 18 for computer science, and in the first semester changed degrees to business. And then I graduated with a 4-year degree. And 4.5 years later, I got a major and a minor. And then I went back to college again as an adult when I was like in my late 20s. And I went back again for computer science and was like, I'm going to do it this time. And I went to school for 2.5 years and completed so it's a science and mathematics degree, right? So I completed all the science. I've completed all the mathematics. So I not only have a business degree and in finance, and then also have completed then move over from business to go to science and mathematics. I've also completed all the mathematics in the mathematics school. I've also completed all the science. I just have 4 computer science classes left, and I could have a computer science degree. But I dropped out because I had started a company. My company was taken off, and I couldn't handle it anymore. It got to the point where I wasn't going to school anymore because I was managing my business, and I just didn't need the degree. It became very clear my direction in life went totally different than I thought it was. But I do almost have a computer science degree. But yeah, who is the one pulling the strings? It's a big question. Think about it this way. So people pay influencers to pump and dump coins, right? Right. You know that. Everybody knows that. When you see influencers shilling some coin nobody's ever heard of, they've been compensated to do it. All these websites right here, these coin desks and these coin telegraphs, they're the same way. They get paid, a coin will pay them $10,000 to write an article about them. It's not unusual and unknown practice in financial media that there's outside forces that pay to have certain types of coverage done for them. And so it's not out of the norm to think there's someone back there paying them to do it. I don't have any proof, so I can't accuse that of being the case, but it's definitely normal behavior in financial media that financial media accepts money to do coverage. So do they sell campaigns? Okay, we want a campaign where we are just extremely negative crypto, right? Does some hedge fund pay for that? And that hedge fund is sitting there scooping up all the crypto. Or the opposite way, they bought all of it during the depths of despair. Now we're up at the very top, and they're like, Kramer, we want you to be absolutely YOLO on crypto. And you get retail to pile in with all the liquidity, and that hedge fund is distributing. You know, I don't know that to be true, but it does occur in in other media, financial media. So who is it? Who knows, man? Is there evidence of it and proof that I can prove that that is exactly what happens with CNBC? No. But can I show on the charts the timing of when CNBC is anti-crypto for years, and then Laser Eyes and Diamond Hands, Kevin O'Leary and Jim Cramer says, I'm never selling my Bitcoin ever, pump, ever. And then Cramer says, sell everything, sell everything, sell everything, sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it. CNBC also told everybody to buy here. Then they told everybody to sell here. Then they told everybody to buy here. And now they're telling everybody to sell here. It's just when you've been through this rodeo enough, imagine being through this rodeo and seeing this so many times, how terrifying it was when Cramer was saying he would never sell his Bitcoin up here. How terrifying it was when Kevin O'Leary put his Laser Eyes and Diamond Hands on. I talked about it at that time, but like the market was so drunk on hopium that it wouldn't listen. That it was like, no, that is good news that they're doing this. And it's like, no, you don't understand. These people are not your friend. These people are here to do the opposite. And we just witnessed like the literal moment of it happening there. And you got whoever was around, like, whoever's around right now and watched that happen. You just learned a life lesson. Don't forget it. All right. Thank you, OG Mac. Good luck with your coding. Bod says that the speech you just made about on emotions was amazing. The work you do is amazing. Thank you, man. Thank you so much, Bod. Thank you. Sir Chavez says, frog bounce to all-time high. Can you shout out my girlfriend, Anna Sophia? Hey, Anna Sophia. Sir Chavez wants the blockchain backer to say what's up. He loves you very much. If he hasn't told you that yet, let me make it really awkward for you. He loves you. Like stage 5 clinger mode. When you're not looking, he's just staring at you. All right, moving on. No. You helped. You helped. A lot of great work. Do more on global market. We actually talked about other markets in today's video. Which I got to wrap this thing up soon so I can release that. Luke Spielman says, will you transition content from Google to Twitter? Only if I'm forced to. I'm going to go down swinging. I don't want to put my content on Elon Musk's platform. Like, I get it. People are drunk on Elon Musk and think he's not. First of all, I've always been an Elon Musk fan, right? I think the SpaceX stuff is awesome. Tesla, okay, whatever. I could take it or leave it. I love how open he is about calling stuff out. I think he has proven there was a lot of kind of corruption at the upper levels of Twitter, and that things that the government was paying to have a certain narrative shown on social media. And I think he's kind of exposed that. I think that stuff is great. But I also think that he markets it that there's no suppression on Twitter and that there's no, just that nothing is suppressed and that it's free speech entirely. And it's just not. You have stuff that definitely gets suppressed in there, and it's simple stuff. And it has to, if you post anything with a link, it'll get suppressed. If you post anything with Substack, it'll get suppressed. The worry is to become completely dependent on that platform as being the media source when they kind of pick and choose when to suppress and push content really hard. I can live with YouTube not pushing my content. It's whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't want to have to rely on that when they're in such a trial and error mode and they're erroring a lot. Also, when you treat your social media like it's where you do all your posting, right? Like the reason why an everything app is so dangerous is that you said, like, what if you really do become so dependent on Twitter for so many things? Like, what if Twitter was also your Amazon? What if it was also your YouTube? It was also your social media. It was also your bank. If it was all these things, would you truly risk like free speech on there, knowing that you could kind of screw up your banking, you could screw up your YouTubing, you could screw up, whatever else we said, right? Like, you're going to start kind of reserving, you're going to screw up your Amazon, right? Your shopping. Like, if you get banned from Twitter, you would lose all that. You wouldn't be able to shop anymore. You wouldn't be able to watch videos anymore. You wouldn't be able to comment. You wouldn't be able to socially interact. You're going to restrain yourself a little bit because you don't want to screw that up. You're not just going to openly scream whatever you want to scream. So I don't know. If Elon stopped, there are shadow bans that still happen. It's all that stuff. I don't buy it. I don't buy the narrative. Because the thing is, I do believe in the free speech. I like that he says that, but I know he's not doing it. He's saying it and not doing it. And that's what frustrates me. And like, I'm not some like left wing, here, nobody take offense to this. Okay. First of all, I'm not a right wing nut job. Some of y'all are crazy. I'm not a left wing nut job. Some of y'all are nuts. I do get it. There's some political dividing on opinions of Elon Musk. And I don't have that at all. Like, I'm telling you, some of y'all are nuts on both sides. Absolutely crazy. And it's nothing to do with that. I'm pissed that he suppresses my stuff. And I come from the position of a person with 200 and something thousand followers, right? Like, I come from the position of somebody who was the number 2 in the world for super followers, right? Like, I know Twitter a little bit. Like, I've seen things, and like, I'm not doing that subscribe thing. Like, I'm not doing it. All those people who did it, all those content creators who now have that active, I guarantee they're kind of saying to themselves, I kind of wish I didn't do this. Promise you. Promise. And they know it too. And I've never said the reasons why, but in their own mind, they kind of know now. It probably wasn't worth it because now they're kind of stuck. All right, moving on. We're not gonna whine about Twitter. No, I'm not moving to Twitter or YouTube. Stop suppressing my stuff, Elon, and actually have free speech, and then maybe. Because you also saw what happened to John Deaton. Imagine if that happened, man. Sorry, I'm trying to find where I was. Okay, here we go. Jeff Jacobs says, thank you for all the info. Would have been out of the market long ago if it wasn't for you. Much love. Well, thank you. Thank you, Jeff. First timer. Travis S. What happens if all cryptos, excluding Bitcoin, are securities? Would that mean investors who aren't accredited no longer can participate? Thanks. It's something we would never have been through. There's no historical reference point to go back and look at a market and what happens to that when the SEC has one victory lapse of turning everything except for one asset into a security. We don't know. That's a kind of a what if in predicting the future of narratives. I don't know. I'd probably talk to the securities people, security specialists, and whether or not they deem that to even be probable or logical. But thank you, Travis. Trade Professional UK, new member. What's up? Thank you. Robert, 702. Thank you so much, Robert. It's generous. BCB, as you have pointed out a while back, XRP has always been a lagger, last to go. Would that mean something will keep XRP suppressed and something else will start the second alt leg, or is this time is different? This time is different is the most dangerous lingo to ever ask. First of all, you're asking for narratives. I have no clue. None whatsoever. When XRP was the last to go in 2017, there was no reason or narrative or justification. It was just last. That was it. There was nothing more to it. In this. There you go. notice this. Here's Bitcoin at $2,900. Here's Bitcoin at $16,000. So from 3,000, and technically if we want to do from here, here's XRP right here, 39 cents. At that time, Bitcoin was $1,700. Bitcoin 10x's itself, while XRP falls from 39 cents all the way to 22. It goes lower than that, right? It goes down to 13, but it's still at 22 cents over here as Bitcoin's already 10x'd itself. Ethereum, already in new all-time highs. Litecoin, new all-time highs, big time, right? So back here when XRP is here, Litecoin's back over here at $25. Litecoin at this point is now at over $200, and XRP is still sitting at the floor. There was no narrative. It was just last. Everything else was already way off and rocking and rolling, and XRP was sad. Will that be the order of operations this time? Who knows? Who knows? But we've seen it before. But thank you, Robert. As for a narrative, I don't know, buddy. Big Shroom, happy Wednesday, my dudes. Have you noticed the XRP dominance chart is printing a 4-hour? Oh, it's a 4th weekly bullish candle. Thanks, homie. Oh, you can pull it up. All right, weekly, you said? Okay. Well, I mean, it looks okay, but no trend change yet, right? So we need a trend change. Looking positive, but we need a break, right? And it would make sense with where we are on the USD price chart, right? So you're looking good on weekly indicators. Let's take a look at bigger indicators. Let's go to monthly, right? Just kind of creeping up. But nothing huge yet, right? So still stuck at that 50. But man, could you just feel it? That beach ball is just saying, hey, whoops. Yeah, that can be a beach ball. Why not? Beach balls aren't really that color though. They're kind of like that. All right, is that what a beach ball looks like? Dang it, Homer, get off. And then, wham! All right, that's it. We're done. All right, happy Wednesday, my dude. Yep. All right, I don't know, man. It hasn't really done much yet. Sorry about that. Trade, thank you, Big Shroom, though. Trade Professionals UK. There we go. First timer says, long time lurker, first time super chatter, and just joined as a member. Oh, Trade Professions UK is my trade worker business. Plumbing, heating, etc. Nothing to do with trading stocks. Okay, cool. Love your work. Hi. Well, thank you so much for stepping out of the shadows and saying hi. Thanks for being a member. Thanks for the donation. More importantly, just thanks for saying hi. I know there's so many of you. There's 1,700 people in here right now. Probably 1,500 of you have never said hi before. And so what's up? Thank you, Trade Professionals. And man, I'm telling you, man, when you guys come say hi to me in person, oh man, I could do that all day, every day. XRP Las Vegas was just unquestionably that one day, the highlight of my whole year, and probably the highlight of the whole time of doing this YouTube channel, that one day. All right, Vero Cash says, "Hey, did you stretch the fractal from the video yesterday at 9:30? If not, how do you keep the original structure from January through September of 2021 and place it on March?" Yes, it has to be stretched. Without stretching, yeah, it definitely is stretched. Otherwise, it would be massive. And of course, I've already deleted everything off here. There we go. Yeah, you can see this is truncated massively. Right. We're not measuring percentages here. We're measuring structures of A, B, C's, and then capitulations and falls and bottoms. There you go. Yep. Is your question, you don't know how to do that? Let me see. If so, how do you keep the original structure from January through? It pretty much stays intact. I mean, you could go like this and kind of screw it up a little bit, but I just eyeball it, and I kind of just like align the timing of it, right? So I know where we start, right? I know where we work up, and I know where we start. We start here. And so then I'll just adjust to make sure the capitulation fall all happens here. We're all lined up. Everything looks good. Obviously, these timings are off slightly, but that's okay. This is our capitulation. This is where we're working on everything. And you can see we're all just kind of lining up here. Timing is not going to be perfect, but it gives us a very general clue of the structure. There you go. Definition says, "Hey dude, I love the channel. I love markets in the morning. Preach. Wonder what was the best way to store crypto? I use Exodus. Is there any best wallet storage option?" I don't know if there's any best. And it's another one of those weird times where like, what do you recommend? Like the go-to has always been Ledger, and still it seems to be that way. Right. Then otherwise there's Exodus and there's Trust Wallet. Now the question on Trust Wallet is, Trust Wallet's linked with Binance. Is it completely separated? Another one would be Coinbase Wallet. But Coinbase Wallet now is tied with, and when I'm talking about Coinbase Exchange, we're talking about Coinbase Wallet. Any implications with that with Coinbase. So I don't know. I'm gonna put the Binance and the Coinbase lawsuits are interesting choices just because of Trust Wallet and Coinbase Wallet alternatively, right? So you got a lot of people who are shifting out of Ledger. Some of them went into Atomic Wallet, and the Atomic Wallet hack happened, which I went and checked mine, by the way. I don't know. I mentioned that I had like $100 or $200 on mine that I haven't checked on in years. I went and checked on it. $200 still in there. I was not victim of the Atomic Wallet stuff. I say that. I'm gonna go check. Of course, I was lazy and I didn't move it out of there. I left it in. But Trust Wallet, I think Coinbase or Binance has bought out Trust Wallet, and then Coinbase Wallet, of course, owned by Coinbase. Those are the popular ones for your phone, right? So, yeah. Or there's Trezor, right? Or spreading it around, right? So I'm kind of going to go with the method of just spreading it around right now during this time. Hard to know if that'll be perfect, right? Are you exposing yourself to more risk, right? You're exposing yourself to more like risk of losing a portion, or do you kind of put it all in one and like pray that's the one that doesn't have a problem, right? So it's a weird time just in the last 2 weeks with what happened with Ledger. Like Ledger's, like imagine right now though, like if Ledger had not screwed up as bad as they did, how many people would be moving out of Trust Wallet and how many people would be moving out of Coinbase Wallet right now into Ledger if they had not screwed up so bad? So kind of a personal choice right now. Ryan Ferguson, good morning, everyone. BC Backer, you the man. FYI, you always make me laugh when you use your Dr. Evil voice randomly. Thanks for having my back. I don't even know what the Dr. Evil voice is. I use the Hank Hill voice a lot at the house with my wife. But I can't say the things that I say when I'm Hank Hill. You're a naughty girl. All right. Ahmed Yusuf says, hey, BCB, do you think the SEC naming all these coins in their lawsuit is to scare the retailers in buying these coins? Thank you. I don't know. I mean, our tinfoil hats can definitely go. Can definitely jump to that conclusion. I also was thinking about what if they're just like naming 10 of them and they're hoping everybody dumps all of them, but there's 2 of them in there that they're secretly grabbing. You know, their buddies are all secretly grabbing. It's not all 10, but there's like 2 of them in there that they're getting at, right? I don't know, man. That'd be super speculative to say that. I really don't. I really have no clue. But thank you. I didn't miss anybody, right? Okay, I got everybody so far. Unknown. Thank you so much. JB Heavy Equipment Services Inc. says, did you see the Bitstamp XRP volume is back? Let's go look at XRP. We'll take everything off. We'll flip over here. So we had volume, right? Yeah, I did notice volume is back, just in general. Notice how prices get higher. Retail is the one YOLOing at the tops, but all the volume disappears. Then price gets low and all the volume returns again. You can clearly see, clear as day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's back, right? So the volume comes back again. Bizarre, right? So we always see the volume. Price goes up, the volume disappears, and then price comes down and the volume returns again. And this is exactly what happened up here. The volume went down drastically up here. Volume disappears again. Volume back. It's bizarre. And it's just something pertaining to Bitstamp in general. It's not like this on other exchanges. It's like this on Bitstamp. And the big thing has also been this big volume signature that happens on Mondays on Bitstamps. And it actually used to be back in the day, it was on Fridays. You could see the big volume stamp here on the last day of the week. This was always on Friday. Then once the FTX stuff happened, it shifted to Mondays. It's the big volume stamp started happening on Mondays. Then the volume stamp disappeared entirely for like a week or two. And then we got our big move up. Volume faded entirely. And then now volume's back. So it is a bizarre thing. One thing to say is like you could clearly jump to the conclusion and say, oh, look, volume's back on a Monday, right? We have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. There was so much going on in the market on Monday with Binance, right? That's where everything kind of sold off with high volume. I wouldn't really trust that one. But next week, do we see a big volume profile on Monday? We'll see. You can see this Monday back over here was slightly higher than the other days. But not like what we've seen, right? These are obvious ones. But here it's interesting. I don't know what to make of it. Been there for so long. And sometimes people will come back and say, it's BCB, it's obviously ODL. Duh. And ODL is super bullish. And it's like, okay, like what makes you think that? Like, no. Like, and we even went through this and said, look, what would happen if you sold hours before this? How would you have historically done? You would have done 90% of the time made money. That's not a statistical insignificant amount. That's not almost half like flipping a coin. That's not like 60 or 70%. It was over 90. If you sold right before the clock struck, 10 on every Friday, you would have made money. These always led to falls down. So, okay. 941. Are we going to get to 1,000? Okay, look, everybody in the chat is trying to cheer it on. We're a team. We're a community. This is incredibly important to everybody, including me. that the 1,600 people in here push us over that finish line to get to 1,000. We're almost at the end of the stream. Crossing that 1,000 is the big deal. And then I'll go ahead and wrap it up and we'll get the video released. Dr. Ty says, can you see a scenario where Ripple case yields a good ruling and then the SEC going after multiple coins is at the same time frame, forcing the market to rotate some liquidity in XRP and then give us the 10 to 13? I mean, it's a scenario. Hey, we got 1,000 pretty quick. Thanks, guys. Woohoo. Chat's going to be happy. You know, we'll see. You know, I mean, that's kind of what everybody hopes for, isn't it? I don't know, Dr. Ty. Right? I mean, that's a scenario that has been drawn up. Does XRP get all the clarity and then everybody bails from everything and runs into XRP? Who knows, man? That's kind of been like a mystical narrative for so long. It's something I wouldn't hang my hat on, but of course it's something that you can't, it's not like, I wouldn't say like you're being far reached to jump to that conclusion, right? I mean, it's always a possibility, but is it a high probability? I don't know. I can easily say why somebody would think that. Yeah, XRP gets clarity. Everybody's like scared of everything else because the SEC is attacking everything. Like really, like you're setting yourself up like perfect. SEC is attacking everything, calling everything a security right now, and attacking exchanges and calling everything a security. And then XRP potentially gets clarity, right? It's not even like XRP gets clarity and everything's up in the air for everything else. It's like, no, the SEC, like the week prior to XRP getting the clarity, declared everything as security and named all of them as securities. And like, they're all bad, except for XRP now who has clarity. So I can see how you can jump to that conclusion for sure, right? But we'll, you know, I'm not going to speculate the narrative of that being the outcome. It would be both good and bad if it happened. Like I'm not an XRP maxi, right? So like 100% of my portfolio isn't XRP. But it's the largest asset that I have. And it's more than 2x my second largest asset. So I would be fine in that scenario, right? Like I would do great, but my other stuff would probably get hurt, pretty bad. Would the XRP offset that? Like if everything went to zero and XRP went up, yeah, it would offset it, no problem. T, it is not. So I don't know. You know, we'll see. If not, may have to make some decisions pretty quick. But boy, that would be I'll take it though. You know, if that's what happens, that's what happens. I'll take it. We could all breathe a sigh of relief and sing Kumbaya together. All the XRP crew. Let all those Cardanzos and those Solanos just kind of, you know, sink or swim. We went through our 2.5 years. Now it's their turn. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. And I do say ladies and gentlemen because we do have ladies who watch the show. Historically, we're at about a 96% male to 4% female ratio. Recently, we have bumped that up. We are now up to 95% male and 5% female who watch this show. Must be doing something right. All right, we're going to go ahead. All the gentlemen in the chat. All right, that's going to be it for this one, guys. You know what we got to do. We can't get out of here without one more amazing jam.
It is Wednesday, my dude. It is Wednesday, my dudes.
All right. That's going to be it for this one, everybody. I hope you all have a wonderful Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. Awesome signs over there in the market. I think we got some just waddling around to do for the rest of June, but that the climatic moment of the market happened yesterday. I'll have a video out here within the next hour I hope that you're having a wonderful week. It's Wednesday, my dudes. Take care, everybody. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for showing up. The super chats, the members, it's all great. But hey, we crossed 1,000 likes, and that's the big one. So thank you guys so much. I'm going to go and wrap it up. If you could, please like the live stream and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice, and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.